Morpheus, and I have been searching for you. It's time to make a choice that will define your future and the path you'll take, the red pill or the blue pill.
It's not just an ideology, it's an action plan. It's a blueprint to inventory and control all land, all water, all plants, all animals, all production, all construction, all law enforcement, all energy, all food, all information, everything on the planet, including you. Sustainable development. Now, when you see the term sustainable development, of course you think you know what it means, but you really don't know what it means. When you see the term SMART, which is sustainability, monitoring, assessing, rating, and tracking you, there's total continuity between Malthus, a corporate group called the Club of Rome, universities, the philanthropies. You've got the corporate, the governance, and the foundations and organizations, including the Holy See, the Vatican.
That will cost me tomorrow or next week or next month or next year or 5 years down the road. I contemplate my extended self, which is like a community across time, and I bind my decisions in the present by my covenant with my future self. And there's no difference between doing that. That means I sacrifice the whims of the moment to the optimization of the medium and long run. And I do the same thing in relationship to other people. Those are the same thing. There is no difference. This is a gospel equation in some ways. There is no difference between treating you properly and treating myself properly. And that's because in the final analysis, there's actually no difference between you and me.
They're going to make it illegal to possess books that claim that sex is an innate feature or that you don't get to choose your own. Is that what it is?
That's part of it. Depends on how they end up defining hate speech, but that's already built into the law, that the idea that making a distinction between men and women that's categorical, that's already part of hate speech. Here's the values we've created. Well, that's not a very good replacement for God. Our replacement for God is narcissistic radicals get to do whatever the hell they want, whenever they want, all the time. And if you oppose it, then it's prison for you.
Wake up, sisters. There's no such thing as a weaker sex.
Rothschilds come from the Orsini family. Roth means red in German, and the Orsini means red bear, little red bears. That's what Orsini means. The Grey Pope is Pepe Orsini. He trumps the black, he trumps the white Pope.
The Grey Pope is even higher than the black and the white Pope.
The Orsini is the Maxima family. They are the maximum family. They are on top. And somehow they've trumped the Colonna and the Farnese, which I know without any doubt through all my studies that they are the three most powerful Illuminati.
What about Rothschild and Rockefeller?
Well, they are Orsini. They just changed their name. Rockefeller were Rothschilds. Rothschilds were Orsini. Orsini were a family which have their lines in Babylon and Egypt. They tell you that. You read their biographies, they'll tell you that. We go back to Nimrod. They tell you that. The Rothschilds say that. We go back to Nimrod. How? Through the Orsinis. So Rockefeller, Rothschild, Orsini, and then you go back to the Persian and Egyptian dynasties.
You see that in the story when Osiris disintegrates, when he's cut into pieces by Seth, right? His parts are scattered all across Egypt. And then Isis, who's queen of the underworld, finds his phallus and makes herself pregnant. Well, that's exactly that image, is that when everything's fallen apart, the seeds are left.
Yeah.
Right? And out of the seeds can emerge something
new.
Yeah,
like
and something new and visionary. Well, that's Horus, because he's the Egyptian eye.
Yeah.
And so that's the standard pattern.
What have we learned so far tonight? We have learned that we are living at the end of a generation, and we have learned that there is a world government system coming in. They want a world government system controlled by the two countries of the United States of America and the Soviet Union in conjunction with the European community, which is forming up by the year 1992. Now, with all that information to hand, we're ready to go ahead and see what their plans are. Plan number one is to cancel cash as we know it today. And strangely enough, they have chosen my country, New Zealand, and Australia across the Tasman Sea as the first two countries to bring about this cashless society. The first reason is that we start the computers every day. Number two, we are very slack people. By that I mean psychologically we're very laid back. No one worries about a thing. Number 3 reason is they are island nations. You can't get through the borders very easily to another country without going through the customs and immigration. You can't sneak across the border. You see, we've got sea all around us. Number 4 reason is we are very small populations. 3.5 million in New Zealand, 17 million in Australia, very easy to manipulate and very easy to play the fool with. In 1984, I wrote Second Warning, and in there I've got a statement by a man called Professor Charles Birch of a group called the Club of Rome, and he said Australia would make an admirable test case. Let me show you an astounding poster from the Australian-New Zealand Bank. Here it is. Here is an official poster, and I'm facing it towards the video over here. It shows an empty wallet upside down laughing, and it is saying these words, "Welcome to the cashless society." There it is. It couldn't be more clear. In fact, that poster says far more than I will ever say in a meeting. There it is. Welcome to the cashless society.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
Banned short-haul flights last week, eh?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, no flights for you, peasants. Yeah. No automobiles either.
Yeah.
No meat, right? No heat, no air conditioning. Stay in your goddamn house and try not to breathe, right? That's not a good vision of the future. They can offer to young people in particular, well, here's how you're going to transform the world. It's like, well, that is a, what would you say, a compelling invitation. The problem is that there's like an unholy meld of 1984 and Brave New World underlying that, the specifics of that invitation.
Because they are trying to normalize the devil. They are trying to the devil is on the main stage at award shows and in every video and signs and symbols.
I find it to be amazing that so many people in this country give lip service to God. They talk about God. They talk about the presence of the Almighty, and have no concept in the world where the word God comes from. Have no concept in the world where the theological ideas and concepts have come from in the Western civilization. God is simply the word dog spelled backwards. This is why our churches have dogma. You need to understand that God, the root word for God coming out of Europe is Goth in German, G-O-T-H, which gives us Gothic cathedrals, Gothic architecture. That's German for God. In Scandinavia, the word is not Goth, it's gut, G-U-T. So when you say, I got a gut feeling, it's like God's telling me something. It's gut is Scandinavian for God. To go back to the word God, as I said, God is dog spelled backwards. Why? Because in the ancient Egyptian religion, the most powerful divine being in all of Egypt was Osiris. And Osiris said that the gods who came from the star system of Osiris, or the star system of Sirius, came to this earth. This was the teachings of the ancient Egyptians, that the gods, aliens if you please, came from another world called Sirius, and they came here and set up a divine arrangement in Egypt. And this is where we get the word sir. Yes, sir, comes from Sirius, Osiris. And today we know that Sirius is called the dog star.
The moon is a spaceship. The people that made us made a billion other civilizations of humans on different planets. We're just the solar system morons. They send down spaceships from all the different planets to look at the morons. It's like a zoo.
Our next destination in space.
The next ultimate destination is...
No, the next one.
Congressman, the next destination, as I said before, is the International Space Station. And we've got to do that one more time.
All right, let's not be trite then. What is the one after that?
It's Mars.
So there's nothing in between as far as you're concerned.
But there are intermediate stops
on
the way there.
What's the next one?
The moon is a destination. Lagrange points are destinations.
Which one is next?
You mean where do we go immediately next? Is that the question?
That's what next means.
Congressman, we are in the process of developing a program. I will have to be able to give you the details, and I will come back and make it for the record in the coming months.
So why are we even talking about how to get to the next destination? We don't even know what that is.
Congressman, we do know what it is. We know
what is it?
Congressman, we can go back and forth forever.
We seem to have to here. I'm looking for an answer.
Okay. The next destination in the Constellation program was the moon.
They have taken over, and when they take over a planet, they usually turn the inhabitants into slaves. Not direct slaves, but indirect slaves, because they want them to continue to be productive. And we were just going to be part of that empire.
Would you say that we are currently under the control of reptilians?
I think so. They control the media, they control the banks, they control the educational system, they control religion. What's left?
So what is the actual process towards awakening that humans can achieve? How do we kick our rulers aside and activate our own potential?
The main advantage that we have is our consciousness. We have the ability to reach into the higher dimensions. The reptilians do not have that ability. That's why they try and keep us dumbed down. If we could raise our consciousness, not very much really, to the point where we see what they're all about and understand what it's all about, the game is over. Mm-hmm. They can't win here.
The fairy tales themselves have that structure, right? It's like the chaos or the moment where things are falling apart. They also call to resolution.
Yeah. In a society that is allowing us to become feminized physically. Probably heard about this with the frogs coming into contact with this herbicide that they put on a lot of foods called atrazine. When the frogs came into contact with this herbicide, which is the second most used herbicide in America, the frog literally went from being a male frog to a female frog. It took about 200 nanograms per deciliter to be able to do that. That's what the allowed amount is in drinking water. 3,000. So you can see why so many women are developing breast cancer, because as estrogen goes up, breast cancer goes up, cervical cancer goes up, fibroids goes up, more problems with men, more testosterone, more losing hair, more belly fat, inability to make muscles.
There is no such thing as a free press. You know it and I know it. There's not one of you who would dare to write his honest opinions. The business of a journalist is to destroy truth, to lie outright, to pervert, to vilify, to fawn at the feet of mammon, and to sell himself, his country, and his race for his daily bread. We are tools, vassals of rich men behind the scenes. We are jumping jacks. They pull the strings, we dance. Our talents, our possibilities, and our lives are the property of these men. We are intellectual prostitutes. So we have a structure of manipulation which is string-pulling the politicians of all political colours, the media, the intelligence agencies, the big companies, and the global banking system. And the plan now is to create so much conflict around the world, so much chaos, including a massive global collapse, which they'll engineer someone else to be blamed for, that we'll have a situation where we'll have a massive problem which has to find a solution. And the solution will be centralized government, centralized bank, centralized currency, which won't be physical money, but which will be credit, and centralized army. One group of people which this conspiracy must suppress if it's to succeed in the next generation.
This is the boss tossed and lost of the theory of chaos. I have your seance for your pain, gain, and rain dance. Same for your Sundance. This is the romance of chance. As all you glance, say, and see plays into the My Spy of mystery. This too affects history. As all you see, be, and do is part of the glue that binds, defines minds in a kind of turbulent time. As the violent barely shake, the warily, barely vibrating. Tiny wings wake the creating.
All our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. You know, and I think that's what I sussed when I was 16 and 12, way down the line. But I expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time. But now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends, you know. If anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, Chinese, what they are actually trying to do, you know, and what they think they're doing. I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane. But I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that. That's what's insane about it. I mean, don't you agree?
I do.
It's insane, It's not just a bit strange. It's just insane. And that's the and nobody knows. All these people in the street, and half the people watching this are going to be saying, "Oh, what's he saying? What's he saying?" That you are being run by people who are insane, and you don't know.
Admiration I actually have for China. Because their basic dictatorship. Vaccinated, and that's the unity we've seen across the country of people who've been there for their neighbors, who've been there for their frontline health workers. We're going to continue to follow the science. We're going to continue to have Canadians' backs. We're going to continue to protect people's lives.
This is just another idiotic control measure so we stay apart and disconnect from the heart, from the treasure of our souls, and share something in common goals as we, the people from the same plane and planet. And this is it. Plain and simple. We are the culture of humans, and they are making us and shaking us and taking us down a dehumanizing uprising, surprising us with illness and illegal immigration issues that misuse and lose the fact we all from the same original pack. This is the earth, and all we humans need to take it back.
Wow.
I have a dream.
To do whatever it takes to protect our freedom. I don't want to fight, Chase. Come on. I don't want to fight. Come on. Put on the glasses. Look at them. They're everywhere. Maybe they can see. You ain't the first son of a bitch to wake up out of their dream.